Yo everyone, Sanjay Uchiha here. So welcome back to the channel. It's basically that time of the week again where I kind of get into One Punch Man season 2, of course, and of course this week is episode 5. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell to get notifications for whenever I upload. So let's just get right into the review slash impressions. So episode 5, for the most part, this episode was okay. It wasn't a bad episode. Kind of reminded me of last week's episode where it felt like not much happened, but unlike last week's episode, it felt we didn't get as much dialogue. The dialogue wasn't as lengthy, because one of the problems I had with episode 4 last week, I'm not sure I mentioned it in my review, there was a lot of dialogue talking between Saitama and Sour Face. So there was that. This week it's not so bad. We have the fight between Metal Bat and Garo, which was a cool fight. I know last week I said this fight would be a good test of where the animation could be, but for the most part it was good. Most part, it's in terms of quality, it's on par with most of the mid to top quality animation sequences we've gotten through the season so far. So probably have to go back on the statement to say this episode would have been the best episode to test the animation skills of JC staff. So yeah, but all in all, this was a pretty decent episode. It was okay, even though in some cases it felt like not much happened, but actually a pretty decent chunk of stuff happened to progress the plot. We have Saitama joining the tournament, and of course the tournament did kick off, and of course, on the Metal Bat versus Garo side, we have things concluding with Garo and the Sentichoro, however it's pronounced. Yeah, we have that concluding there. Now, what's interesting is each episode, of course, since it is a series, we're building up to more and more of what's happening with the plot, to the overall narrative. And of course, this season features the introduction of the Monsters Association, who've been officially called by name in this episode. We have this one sequence where after Garo is finished with Metal Bat and he's walking away, we have two monsters that were with Sentichoro. They are inviting Garo to the Monster Association. So of course Garo refuses, and it's at this point that they say they'll pretend that they didn't see or hear him refuse. So interesting. I mean, it seems only natural for a show about a hero association to have the opposing force of the Monsters Association, so there's that. And the next thing in this episode that's to note is that we have a lot of monsters showing up throughout the various cities, and based on how the officials for the hero association are acting, it does seem like, you know, they're pretty much outnumbered at this point. Now, I'm not gonna spoil anything for those of you who are only watching the anime, and even I've kind of stopped off on the manga, but I should get back into that. But it's going to be interesting to say the least once the tournament is over. Honestly, the tournament's kind of like for fun just for the fun of it for Saitama trying to learn martial arts. As Genos points out towards the end of the episode, the tournament might end before Saitama even learns the value or gets any appreciation for martial arts, and that's to be expected, honestly. There's not really much to say about this episode outside of that. I mean, we have Metal Bat vs Garo. It wasn't a bad fight, honestly. Of course, we have Metal Bat showing his whole, I guess, quote-unquote fighting spirit ability. The more pumped up he gets, the stronger and faster, and his stats go up, essentially. Of course, we did have that one sequence where Metal Bat could have put Garo out of it completely, but he's stopped by his sister calling him. He should have just went through for it. It'd be interesting to see how if Garo would have been able to survive that hit. But it is what it is. Of course, Garo puts the finishing blows on Metal Bat. Didn't kill him, stopped by his sister. And that's the next interesting thing, is that even though Garo wants to be a villain, he wants to be a monster, it's still interesting to see him not like outright just killing Metal Bat's little sister. So I guess it does show that there's some diversity. There's some diversity in his character, I'd say. That's definitely interesting. And as per usual, since he is one of the star attractions of the season in conjunction with the Monster Association, more so Garo, he continues to, I don't know, anytime Garo's on screen, I'm interested in what's happening. That's all I'm saying, really and truly. But all in all, it was an okay episode. It was a funny moment seeing Saitama go into the tournament and just bitch slapping. I forgot the contestant's name he went up against. It was ridiculous, honestly. Oh, and how could I forget? We still have Bang and Bomb still on the hunt for Garo. So there's that as well. So yeah, a lot of pieces coming together leading up to however many episodes this season is going to have, honestly. Little breadcrumbs. Sorry. This episode almost felt like in some aspects more of a setup. We got kind of introduced to, like, got official word that there's a monster association. Garo's not outright interested. We continue to see kind of like a diversity or gray area in Garo's character. He wants to be a monster, but you know, he seems to have some sort of moral code about it. So that's interesting. I love that. I actually love that. I'm not gonna lie. So there's that. But that aside, we got some okay to decent animation exchange sequences in terms of the fight. And the plot is progressing at a nice pace, even though for the most part I'm still think people would have wanted a bit more action for this episode. But all in all, I think it's played its part. This episode has played its part in the grand scheme of things, and yeah, it was okay. It was okay to a good, and I have no problem with it other than that. So yeah, rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode, and I don't know, just leave a comment, I guess. But yeah, that's me, Sanjay Uchiha. Rate, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell to get notifications, people. Help me out. Road to 200 subs. Well, road to 1,000. What am I talking about? Yeah, road to 1,000 subs. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.